Have you ever felt that unsettling feeling? The one where you look at the woman you love and something just doesn't add up. She says one thing, but her actions whisper another story. Her words sound sweet, yet her eyes feel distant. Let me ask you, what would you do if you discovered the person you trusted most was hiding something from you? Would you want to know the truth before it destroys you? If that question hit you deep, then stay with me. Because in this video, we're going to uncover 10 Marcus Aurelius-inspired suggestions for spotting the hidden signs of a cheating woman, guided by both Stoic wisdom and female psychology. Before we dive in, take a second to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and stay till the end because what I'm about to share isn't just random advice. It can genuinely change the way you see love, relationships, and yourself. And trust me, once you know these signs, you'll never look at a woman the same way again. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If someone can show me that what I think or do is not right, I will gladly change, for I seek the truth." This applies to relationships more than anything else. Many men ignore the truth about their partners because it hurts too much to face. They see the red flags, but they close their eyes, hoping love will fix it. But Stoicism teaches us that ignoring truth only multiplies suffering. Facing it, accepting it, is the way to freedom. A cheating woman may try to hide her actions, but her psychology, her behavior, and her energy will betray her. Today, I'll show you 10 powerful signs that reveal her betrayal, and for each one, we'll connect Marcus Aurelius's timeless wisdom, so you can not only spot the truth but also remain unshaken by it. 1. Her attention suddenly belongs elsewhere. Let me ask you something personal. Do you remember the early days of your relationship? When she would look into your eyes like you were the only man in the world. When her texts came fast, her calls were long, and every detail of your day seemed important to her. She used to ask, "How was your morning?" Or "Did you eat yet?" And it felt like she cared about even the smallest things. Now pause for a second and reflect. Does she still do that? Or has something changed? Because here's the truth. When a woman's heart is loyal, her attention is natural. It flows towards you without effort. But when her heart starts wandering, her attention wanders too. She may still be there physically, but emotionally, she's drifting. Think of it like this. Love is not measured by words, but by presence. She might say, "I love you," but if she's scrolling through her phone while you're talking, if she forgets the things you told her yesterday, if her eyes glaze over when you're sharing your thoughts, her love is no longer where it used to be. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You become what you give your attention to." And that's exactly why attention is the most powerful measure of love. A woman who is truly in love cannot help but give attention. It's like sunlight, warm, constant, and life-giving. But when that sunlight fades, it feels cold and you notice it immediately. Ask yourself, when was the last time she looked at you with the same curiosity she once had? When was the last time she asked you questions not out of obligation, but because she genuinely cared? This is not about being paranoid. It's about noticing the subtle but powerful shift in energy. If she used to laugh at your jokes but now barely reacts. If she used to call you before bed but now forgets. If she used to dress up to see you but now doesn't bother, it's not just a phase. Her attention has found a new direction. And here's the hardest part. Attention doesn't just disappear, it goes somewhere. If it's not on you, it's on someone else or something else. That's why Marcus Aurelius teaches us to seek truth rather than comfort. Because once you see the truth, you stop living in illusion. So tell me honestly, are you still the man who holds her attention? Or are you clinging to a version of her that no longer exists? 2. She guards her phone like her life depends on it. Let me ask you a simple but powerful question. Do you remember when her phone didn't matter? When she would leave it on the table, screen up without a single worry? When you could pick it up to check the time and she didn't flinch? Now compare that to today. Does she snatch it back the moment you glance at it? Does she suddenly carry it everywhere, even to the bathroom? Does the screen always face down, as if the light of a notification might expose something she doesn't want you to see? If that sounds familiar, my friend, it's not just privacy. It's a shift in energy, and that shift tells a story. You see, in the beginning, when love is pure, there's no need for secrecy. She wanted to share everything with you, her texts, her jokes, even her social media posts. It wasn't about surveillance. It was about trust. But when the phone becomes a shield, when it becomes the one thing she guards like a treasure chest, ask yourself, what treasure is she protecting? Or worse, what secret is she hiding? Marcus Aurelius said, If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Think about how powerful that is. When someone guards their phone with extreme caution, it often means what they're doing in there isn't right. Or at the very least, they fear it wouldn't survive the light of truth. Now don't get me wrong. Everyone deserves a level of privacy. But there's a fine line between privacy and secrecy. Privacy is locking your diary in a drawer. Secrecy is hiding the diary every time someone walks into the room. One is about boundaries. The other is about lies. So ask yourself, did she always guard her phone this way, or did it start recently? Did she suddenly change her passwords? Did she start giggling at texts but turn the screen away when you leaned closer? These aren't coincidences. Female psychology shows us that behavior shifts like these are often tied to emotional investment in someone new. And here's the kicker. The phone isn't the problem. The secrecy is. The phone is just the stage. The play is happening in her heart. So when she clutches that phone like her life depends on it, it's not about protecting a device, it's about protecting a double life. And the real question is, how long will you ignore what your instincts already know? 3. Her emotional energy feels different. Let me take you back to the beginning of your love story. Do you remember the way she used to light up when she saw you? That spark in her eyes, that warmth in her touch. The way her laughter felt like music when you walked into the room. Back then her energy was undeniable. It wrapped around you, made you feel chosen, made you feel alive. But now, something feels off, doesn't it? She's there, but she's not really there. Her smile looks practiced. Her hugs feel empty, and when you talk, she nods, but you can tell her mind is somewhere else. This is one of the clearest signs of infidelity, and it's also one of the most painful. Because you can't point to a text message or a lipstick stain. All you have is a feeling, a gut-level awareness that the emotional energy you once had together has shifted. And here's the truth, you're not crazy for noticing it. Human beings are wired to sense emotional changes. When the bond weakens, you feel it in your bones. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Her energy may change, but your strength lies in acknowledging reality instead of clinging to illusions. Think about it. When she used to love you fully, even your flaws were cute to her. She laughed at your bad jokes, listened to your boring stories, and cared about your smallest struggles. Now, the patience is gone. The laughter sounds forced. The connection feels heavy, like she's giving you the bare minimum just to keep things looking normal. And here's where most men make the mistake. They start chasing harder. They beg for attention, they buy gifts, they plan dates, all in the hope of restoring that lost warmth. But that never works, because when a woman's emotional energy has shifted to another man, giving more only drains you further. So let me ask you, when you sit beside her, do you still feel chosen, or do you feel tolerated? Do you feel like a priority or just an option? Energy doesn't lie. It's not about what she says. It's about what you feel when you're around her. And when her emotional energy feels different, you already know deep down, her heart isn't fully with you anymore. She suddenly becomes overly critical of you. Do you remember how in the beginning she adored even your imperfections? Maybe you left your socks on the floor and she laughed, calling you cute. Maybe you forgot to text her back once and she brushed it off with a smile. Back then she saw the best in you, even in your flaws. But now every little thing you do seems wrong. Suddenly the way you chew annoys her. The way you drive makes her sigh in frustration. The things she once loved, your jokes, your habits, even your quirks have become reasons for criticism. Why does this happen? Because when a woman cheats, or when her heart drifts toward another man, she feels a deep conflict inside. To justify her betrayal, she begins rewriting the story in her head. And in that new story, you're no longer the man she loves, you're the man who doesn't. Understand her? The man who doesn't give enough, the man who changed. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself." But when guilt lives in her heart, she does the opposite. She becomes strict with you and lenient with herself. It's easier for her to exaggerate your flaws than to admit her own betrayal. Let me ask you, have you noticed this shift? Where her patience with you has vanished. But with strangers or friends, she's still sweet and kind. Doesn't that feel unfair? That's because it is. It's not really about your flaws, it's about her needing an excuse to detach. Think about your love story. Once your presence made her glow. Now your presence makes her restless. Once she admired the way you lived your life. Now she questions your every decision, and here's the painful truth. This criticism is rarely about improvement. It's about creating emotional distance. The mistake many men make is trying to fix themselves to win her approval back. They change how they dress, how they talk, even how they think, hoping she'll love them again. But the problem isn't you, it's her shifting loyalty. So ask yourself, are her criticisms coming from a place of love, or are they excuses to justify her betrayal? Because love corrects gently, but betrayal condemns harshly. And when the criticism becomes constant, it's not about who you are, it's about who she's already given her heart to. 5. She disrespects you in public. Think back to the early days of your relationship. Do you remember how she used to admire you? When you spoke, she looked at you with respect. Even if she disagreed, she did it softly, protecting your dignity. She wanted the world to see you as the man she believed in. But now, it feels different, doesn't it? You're out with friends, maybe at a dinner or a family gathering, and instead of supporting you, she mocks you. Maybe she makes jokes at your expense, rolls her eyes when you speak, or dismisses your opinions in front of others. It stings. Not just because of the words, but because of the disrespect. Here's the thing. When a woman loves and values you, she guards your reputation. She wants the world to respect you as much as she does. But when her loyalty fades, so does her respect. And disrespect in public is often a sign that in private, her heart already belongs elsewhere. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." In moments like these, it's tempting to snap back, to humiliate her the way she humiliates you. But a Stoic man stays composed, because disrespect says more about her character than it does about yours. Let me ask you honestly, have you felt that shift? Where instead of lifting you up, she tears you down? Where the woman who once praised you now embarrasses you in front of others? Doesn't it feel like betrayal, even without the physical act of cheating? That's because it is. Disrespect is emotional betrayal. Think of it like this. Love is not just about affection, it's about admiration. A woman may say she loves you, but if she no longer respects you, her love has already eroded. And when she disrespects you in public, it means she no longer cares about protecting your bond. The mistake many men make is brushing it off, laughing along, pretending it's just a joke. But deep down, you know it's not. It's a symptom of fading love, of a heart that no longer values yours. So ask yourself, does she still protect your dignity when no one's watching? Or has she turned you into the punchline of her story? Because a woman who loves you will fight for your honor, not strip it away in front of the world. She values pleasure over purpose. Let me ask you something. Do you remember when the two of you used to dream together? Maybe it was about building a home, starting a family, or even just planning where life was headed. Back then, your love wasn't just about having fun. It was about building a future. She cared about your goals, your struggles, and the bigger picture of life. But now, it feels like all she wants is fun, excitement, and endless entertainment. Nights out, parties, trips with friends, shopping sprees. It's all about pleasure. And here's the painful truth. When a woman's loyalty fades, her purpose fades with it. Instead of building with you, she starts seeking escape from you. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Think about that. When her thoughts used to be about growth and purpose, your relationship felt grounded. But when her thoughts are consumed by the next thrill, the next party, the next distraction, your relationship loses its foundation. Let me bring this closer to your story. Remember when she used to ask you about your dreams, maybe encouraging you when things got tough? She believed in your vision, but now if you bring up serious conversations about career, about saving money, about building stability, she shuts down. Or worse, she changes the topic to her weekend plans. It's not that wanting fun is wrong. Every relationship needs laughter and joy. But when fun replaces purpose, when pleasure outweighs commitment, it's a red flag. Because women who truly love you don't just want to enjoy the present. They want to secure the future with you. And here's the part that hurts most. Many men ignore this sign. They convince themselves it's just a phase, or they even join her in chasing temporary pleasures, hoping it will bring her back. But it doesn't. Because when she values pleasure over purpose, it's often because she no longer sees you as part of her long-term future. So ask yourself, when she looks at life now, is she dreaming with you? Or is she just chasing the next high without you? Because a woman who loves you deeply wants to build more than memories. She wants to build meaning. And when that desire for purpose disappears, it's often because her heart is already gone. 7. She cannot handle silence. Think back to the most peaceful moments in your relationship. Do you remember sitting together in quiet, maybe in the car, or on the couch and not needing words to feel connected? Just being there, breathing the same air was enough. That's what real love feels like, comfort in silence. But now, silence feels different, doesn't it? When the room goes quiet, she shifts uncomfortably. She picks up her phone, she fidgets, or she starts meaningless small talk just to fill the air. Sometimes, she even sparks arguments out of nowhere because silence makes her uneasy. Why? Because silence is powerful. In silence, the truth echoes louder than words. And when a woman carries guilt, betrayal, or emotional distance, she cannot bear that silence. Her own conscience speaks too loudly in those moments. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." For the Stoics, silence was peace. But for a woman hiding something, silence is torment. It's a mirror she doesn't want to look into. Let me ask you honestly, when was the last time you and her sat together without talking, and it still felt good? Do you still feel that peace, or does silence now feel like a wall between you? Here's the reality. When love is alive, silence feels intimate. It's the kind of silence where you know she's present even without words. But when love is fading, silence becomes unbearable. Because presence without connection only highlights the distance. Maybe you've noticed it. When you're driving, she blasts the radio. When you're home, she's glued to her phone or the TV. When you try to sit close and quiet, she pulls away or looks restless. This is not random, it's psychological. She fears what silence might reveal, both to you and to herself. And here's the painful part. Many men think filling the silence will fix it. They try harder to talk, to entertain, to keep things lively. But silence is a test of connection. If she cannot be at peace with you in silence, her heart is no longer resting with you. So ask yourself, do your silences still feel like love, or do they feel like distance? Because when she can't handle silence anymore, it's not about the silence itself. It's about the truth that silence exposes. 8. She is driven by jealousy and projection. Jealousy is like a fire. It can warm a relationship when it's small, but when it rages out of control, it burns everything to ashes. Now think about her behavior. Does she constantly accuse you of things you never did? Does she question your loyalty even when you've given her no reason to doubt? That's not love. That's projection. Projection happens when a person transfers their own insecurities or even their own guilty conscience onto someone else. In simple words, if she's secretly texting another man, she'll accuse you of hiding your phone. If she's fantasizing about someone else, she'll suspect that you're unfaithful. Why? Because the mind can't carry its own guilt for long, so it throws the burden onto others. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." But when a woman has no control over her own mind, she will try to control yours. Her jealousy becomes a weapon, not just a feeling. Let me ask you this. How many times have you felt like you were on trial in your own relationship, where every message, every delay, every friend you talk to becomes evidence in her imaginary case against you? The truth is, this behavior is exhausting because it's never about you. It's about her. A jealous, insecure woman doesn't see reality. She sees her fears. And a woman driven by projection doesn't trust herself, so she cannot trust you either. At first, you might think it's cute. Oh, she just cares about me. But over time, it turns into chains. You feel like you're walking on eggshells, careful not to trigger her suspicion. And here's the irony. Often, the more jealous she is, the more likely she is to be hiding something herself. When love is real, trust is the foundation. But when jealousy and projection drive the relationship, fear replaces trust. And fear is a terrible foundation for love. So ask yourself, is her jealousy protecting the relationship or poisoning it? Because once jealousy takes the wheel, the relationship is no longer driven by but by suspicion. And a man who lives under suspicion is not loved. He is controlled. 9. She pulls away from intimacy. Have you ever noticed how intimacy isn't just about the physical, it's about emotional? Closeness, trust, and vulnerability. Now here's a question for you. Do you remember the early days of your relationship, when even the smallest touch felt electric? When conversations lasted until 3 a.m., When she leaned into you like you were her safe place, but now she pulls away. She turns her back when you reach for her at night. She avoids deep conversations, giving you short, cold answers. She seems distant, almost like she's in the same room with you, but her heart is miles away. This is one of the clearest signs of a woman who cheats or is preparing to. Why? Because intimacy isn't something we ration out. When she stops giving it to you, it's often because she's investing that energy elsewhere. She may not even realize it, but she's creating emotional space for someone else. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." But in relationships, when someone has already given their heart away, you cannot control it no matter how much effort you pour in. And this is where many men suffer. We think, maybe if I try harder, maybe if I give more, maybe if I fix myself, she'll come back. But intimacy doesn't vanish because you're not enough. It vanishes because her loyalty has shifted. Think about it. When someone is truly in love, they crave closeness. They don't run from your touch. They run to it. They don't avoid your eyes. They lock into them. They don't hide in silence. They open up because they feel safe. But when a woman pulls away from intimacy, it's her subconscious revealing the truth. Her body and emotions tell a story her words may deny. She may say, "I'm just tired," or "I'm stressed," but deep down, you feel it, something is broken. And here's the harsh reality. Intimacy is the soul of a relationship. Without it, what's left? Two strangers sharing a house. A man fighting to revive something she's already buried in her heart. So ask yourself honestly, is she truly yours in body, mind, and soul, or is she only giving you what's left after she's already given her best to someone else? Because love doesn't pull away, it leans in. 10. Her words no longer match her actions. Have you ever been in a relationship where her words sounded sweet, but deep down you felt something was off? She says, "I love you," but she doesn't show up when you need her. She says, "You're the only one for me," but her behavior makes you question her loyalty. This, my friend, is one of the clearest signs of a woman who cheats. Her words no longer match her actions. At the start of love, words and actions walk hand in hand. When she said she missed you, she showed it. When she said she wanted a future, her behavior backed it up. But over time, something changes. She may still say the right things because she doesn't want you to suspect anything, but her energy, her consistency, her actions, they begin to tell a different story. Marcus Aurelius taught, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." In other words, a person's integrity is revealed when their words and actions align. When they don't, deceit has entered the picture. And in relationships, that gap between words and actions is where betrayal hides. Let me ask you, have you noticed how she reassures you with promises, yet fails to follow through? Maybe she says she's busy, but somehow always has time for her friends. She tells you you're important, yet you feel like a low priority in her life. She talks about loyalty, but guards her phone like a fortress. This is not confusion, it's contradiction. And contradictions don't exist in real love. Because true love doesn't need excuses, it proves itself daily. The danger here is subtle. Many men hold on to her words because they want to believe them, even when her actions scream otherwise. We cling to the "I love you," she said, while ignoring the coldness in her eyes. But the body never lies. The heart never lies. If her actions don't match her words, you are not loved, you are managed. So pay attention. Does she really love you, or does she only say she does? Because real love is not what comes out of the mouth, it's what shows up in action. And when words and actions no longer match, that's not love, it's deception. Closing thoughts. Now let me say this clearly. These signs don't mean you should live in paranoia, suspecting every woman. But they are truths you must recognize. When your instincts whisper that something is wrong. Marcus Aurelius didn't live his life trying to control others. He lived seeking truth, mastering himself, and refusing to be deceived by illusions. Apply the same here. If you see these signs, don't beg, don't chase, don't cling. Stand in truth and let go of what no longer values you. Because at the end of the day, cheating says more about her character than your worth. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.